Okay, there you go. I was about to say, listen, let me up this.
Where we is.
We everywhere. We all
Good
around,
morning,
Alicia.
good morning.
Yeah,
Not
for
rider.
uh, well, I don't see it. Oh, there we go. We in the building. Ladies and gentlemen,
Yes.
welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, gang. It's the ugly bear himself, Big Phil Speaks, and the beautiful beloved in the building. She giving you the straight, you know what I'm saying, flat down, you know what I'm saying? Good, I can't say it that way. The flowing hair
Good
situation.
morning,
Listen,
Des. Yes. Got my wig done
don't
yesterday.
look, he done already started. He done already started. That good
Who?
old that
Des
day
just
is
said good
already done.
morning. He
Uh-huh,
just
here.
said good morning.
Uh-huh.
hmm We know how you do, Des. We just waiting. You like one of them badass little kids. You be like, you waiting for him to act up. Just
That
waiting.
part.
What's wrong? What you mean? He's just over there being quiet. That means he's up to double no good. Shoot.
Right, paying attention to everything. Listen, the homie Night
Okay.
Rider is in the house. Des and D Super is in the
All
house. R&B,
right.
R&B, Gizzo. As y'all
R&B.
come through the door, hit that thumbs up, boop, that part right there, and be loved. I ain't get to tell you yet, but guess what? We
What's that?
also live on Facebook right about now as well.
What? We live on Facebook. You didn't even
On
tell me.
Facebook.
Oh my God, I done got some extra beef grease on the
You
face
put some
this
extra beef grease
morning.
on your oh damn it.
Put them on the
That's what it is
edges.
about you. That's what
I
it is. I was looking
didn't. No,
right there.
that's what
I
it
said,
is. You could tell.
it's a little grease remnant right there. Look. Little beef grease remnant right there. Salute,
Oh
salute.
no. Good
Celebrate.
morning,
Come
Facebook.
on. Y'all get on
Yes,
over here
come
to the
on
YouTube.
in.
That's staying on. E Ross, I'm on YouTube right now. E Ross, we not over here. This was just the pregame. We on that good YouTube with
What's the
Big Phil.
vibes? Everything is all good. R&B.
That part
It
and
is
Barrow.
Monday. Monday.
Money Day, all them good
Money
things.
day. Every day is money day. I know
That part.
every day.
That part. How
But
was your weekend, B Lava?
it was good. It was good. Great little. This is what I would call an ideal weekend.
Okay,
I get
okay.
to I get to kick it off with one of the kids, preferably all of the kids, but that's much harder to do these days.
Cause
So I got to
one's there. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. But I got to hang out with my middle son. That's my oldest out of my two boys, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
always just love him. And then, Saturday it was all rainy and yucky, so everybody just chilled, and just kind of made it what it is. But then Sunday was, then done with my hair, went to the mall. I would say overall it was a really great weekend. How was yours?
Man, it was pretty good. J Man is in the building. This song he just I
J
popped out
man,
from
you
that
got a pocket full
BGAs.
of BGAs. You got one all wrinkled up in your wallet. You know how you be having stuff folded up in your wallet, tucked up in the corner? That'll be J Man. Like, hold on, I think I got one BGA left, just one.
this
It's in the
this
closet.
weekend my son had just turned 17. He had basketball tourney, so I did that.
Happy
You know what I'm saying?
birthday.
Saturday and Sunday or whatever. They went undefeated, so I'm proud of that. You know what I'm saying? He make me proud anyway.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Just like all my kids do. So I was doing that. Got ranked on leaving the tournament Saturday. It came down like a typhoon. I was like, and on this
Really?
day, I couldn't even get a close parking space. So I had to, boy, you know what I'm saying?
Run, run
A,
for
a
us.
big dude jogging through the storm. Oh my goodness. Listen.
They be like, wait for us. Where you
God
going?
damn.
To my car.
Right. My son was like, can I wait here till you bring the car around? I said, no, I grabbed him by his shirt, like, you better bring your
I
yeah,
got it
you
right.
on
You
with
got
me.
it
We going
right.
down together. You hear me? father like son. We out here. You
That's
hear me?
right. That's right. That's
If I
funny.
got to
Not
get
even
drenched here
like
for you, you gonna get drenched for me right now.
for
There's a deal. I don't know what you
sure.
talking about. I'm a doctor. You know, some call me Doctor Feel Good, but other than that, I just I be chilling.
Okay. J-Man, we know the pain of graduation is the cost of
There you go.
graduation. You got two boys. That's what you signed up for. You
Man.
better read that the BGA fine print. Says you pay for graduations, weddings, birthday parties, sweet 16s, all of that.
Hey,
Go
you
read
and me
that
both,
fine
J
print,
man.
J
I
Man.
got one graduating this weekend too.
Hmm.
Listen, to
This is
whom
where
is
these
called,
rag
huh?
right. This is where being a parent is actually pretty enjoyable, even though you're spending a lot of money to see them go through their little, accomplishments, graduations, all wins. It's so beautiful.
Yeah,
But they so
you
damn
know
cantankerous, aren't these kids?
that's when you try to keep it extra thorough, extra manly, extra gangster. You be like trying not to cry. You like,
Oh, oh, not the quivering lip. Not the quivering lip. No, no, not that. Hopefully
that
one of the
part.
daughters that got you.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it wasn't a fire. It wasn't a fire. Prince J, man, you better go back and read that agreement.
Hey,
I
Jay,
remember
that's fine print. About 20
funny story.
mag,
No,
magnified levels
that's all
down.
part
Go
of
ahead.
it. Anything your parents did for you, you knew you had to do times 10. So all of this is not new to us. We just knew that we would have to do it a little bit more because as the kids get
Chat.
older, they need a little more drama. But my son asked me for 5K. I told him to keep it and saving it. It'll come soon. That is funny. Good morning, Chin Check. He said,
Yeah,
Danville,
man.
how was you when you had your last baby? Um, yeah, no. So you know what's funny about that is like I always wanted to be one of those parents that was like help buy the kid the first car. I wanted to be one of those parents that was able to contribute towards the down payment on their first home. If they got married, if my daughter got married, which I know is technically the man's responsibility, but we don't go by those rules sometimes in society because you can't. Sometimes the father just can't, or sometimes he ain't around. But I always wanted to be, let me have at least 10 grand to put towards a wedding here, whatever y'all want to do. Like I just always wanted to be one of those helpful parents. So in a situation like yours, J Man, when he asked me for 5K, I'd have just been like, come up with 25 or come up with three. I give you two. You know what I'm saying? Like give them some incentive to start saving towards it. Be like, all right, you know what? You come up with 3,000, I got two for you. You know what I mean? Because for me, I spend money on anything. So to help them do something that I think is now, what is 5K for? That's the question. You taking your girl on a shopping spree because we're not doing that on my dime. We like what are we doing with the 5K? They got to be something productive in that whole 5K situation.
I
Why are you
got
making that
5K. I got
face?
5K for you. You don't sit your 5K ass down. You know,
I got five of
5K
these right
in.
here. Wait. Well, shiggity, I've been spending all that life.
That part, J Man, huh? And the spinning don't stop when they graduate. Listen,
No, it
hey,
does not.
J Man, you know what's funny? You right about that. I was that age
What?
when my last one was born. That's the funny part about
Really?
it.
DC
Yeah,
Mumbo said he has four. He had twins at 40. God bless
twins and four.
your soul.
Hey, home team, listen. Shout out to you. You got double trouble, double fun for the
Better sit your
pussy.
5K asses down. Check said you better sit your five. What did he want it for? I'm just curious. What did he want 5K for? Like, did he want to
He
buy a
wanted the floor. He
car?
probably
Like,
wanted the floors. You know what I'm talking about? He probably was like, "Yeah, I'm up.
oh,
Listen,
y'all
you
going to,
better
oh,
sit.
hell
You
yeah.
come out that college, we gonna holler about being up and maybe get you something real substantial. But until then, sit your. Oh, you never know. Hold up, he might know. J Man, a entrepreneur. Maybe he's someone at the, or following his footsteps,
Open a
start a
little
business.
business. Yeah, a little some. A little something. You'd be a little VP or something. Sit on this. That's a little residual income for you, J Man. Be like, I want my little 10% every month. That's the cost of franchising. You got to pay your tab every month.
Why
The
Dad's got the
more
nerve to
you
say I got
never
one more
just
left in me. Now I don't know
mm-mm.
about that.
Good.
I don't know.
Just to have fun. Oh no, no, J man. Now you need to sit your ass down. Save it up, or sit your ass down. Cause no, I want $5,000 to just have fun too.
Listen, I have been fruitful, Des, and
Me
I have
too.
multiplied upon the face of the earth. I don't need to make no more babies. Yeah, but
It's not
you
my
never know what
Wi-Fi
tomorrow
today,
may.
so I don't want to hear it. You are breaking up.
Who breaking up?
You breaking my Wi-Fi.
Who
You
breaking?
breaking up.
I think you might be. Somebody might have
You
hacked into your
breaking up.
situation. Somebody might have. Somebody might have hacked
Mm-mm.
and tapped in to
Yeah,
your
you deserve
situation.
it.
Maybe I
No.
deserve.
Look, checking for those Wi-Fi, those Wi-Fi cords, right, Phil? Checking for those Wi-Fi cords, like everything plugged in.
That part.
Matter of fact, you need to catch me up before we start, getting the show started and going through these news stories. What was going on Field of Love Friday? Hey Phil, it's the '80s. They want their phone ring back. What's up with that old
I
ass
ain't
phone
doing
ring?
ringtones and all that extra. I just put it on the la 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 ling ling ling, and let it rock and roll. All business all the time. That's all it is. Now, what was you
That
saying
sounds like a
about Feel
fax
Love
line.
Friday? What was you saying
Yeah,
about Feel Love Friday?
what was going down on Field of Love Friday? I came on for a few minutes and it was feeling like there was some questions about Mr. King Talk TV and Evolution Brooklyn, and I'm like, they don't said ain't nothing going on. Even though I like their
Oh,
chemistry because they both are very open about the fact that they do polyamory and all of this other stuff.
the
So
bird.
their openness is really kind of dope. But what happened? It felt like there was some smoke, some beef. Same time
No, no,
every
no,
show
no,
does.
no,
I
no beef.
told you another playbook. Oh Lord. Oh
Somebody
shoot.
calling.
Good morning,
Good
DeBerg.
morning, Tracy
Good morning,
T.
Tracy
The
T.
bird. No,
I know.
what it was,
Y'all just gonna have
what
to
it
pay
was,
it directly, Des.
what it is Evolution got a secret lover, and
Okay.
she started talking about somebody, and when King Talk came through the building, she referred to him as Mufasa. I was like, what?
Right. I saw
What's
that
really
part.
going on? And so supposedly he got a friend that ain't too feeling too much of their conversations online or whatever. And I don't know,
What?
but I ain't got nothing to do with it. But I was intrigued. I was like, oh, when did Mufa when what? But
Right. When did Naya and Mufasa get together
yeah,
in the
she bobbed and
jungle?
weaved a little bit.
In
She
the
bobbed and weaved
jungle.
and got out of it. She bobbed and weaved.
She goes to Ace. Yo, that is funny. J Man,
What
you
the hell
are
are
a
you talking
mess.
about, Jamin? Listen,
J Man
no,
is a
that
straight
that
up
that is
mess.
not that. Y'all tried it.
Yeah, y'all trying it. But
But yeah,
that's why I was like, because I guess okay, so let's talk about relationships living within the social when you on these social media streets, right? It's people always make assumptions about everything. Always.
that's
It
a
doesn't
fact.
matter what. They on
That's
the
a
outside
fact.
looking in, y'all treat social media like it's the soap operas, today's soap operas. And people are just living their
Absolutely.
lives. Everybody's not sleeping together, everybody's not together, everybody's not sneaking behind the scene. Most of these people don't even live in the same state. What is that about? So my
Listen,
whole thing is,
everybody,
why y'all reaching?
everybody,
Hey, that's
including
speaking of which,
yourself.
Mr. King Talk Keep TV. Good morning. We were just talking about you. Good morning, yay.
The crazy part is any
Phil
female that
look
I came up,
nervous.
every no, I look what every woman that I came up with, including yourself, I get accused of being in some kind of relations or salacious situation with, and I'm just like,
No, not at
what?
all.
Right? I'm
No.
just, and it's crazy. It's like any female, whether it's over here, whether it's on IG, it could be the first time I came up with them or the 50,000th time I came up with them. Oh, no, Phil. And I'm like, what? I'm chilling.
You must have some serious frequent flying miles. People
Who?
love projecting. You, based on what they saying in these comments, you stay in a city, somewhere with somebody at any
I
given
stay right
time.
where I'm at in this chair Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday. Where you see me at?
Listen, I don't know. Here I'm
You
telling you,
think
you
I'm
got a
packing this
private
up and
airport
taking it
back
with
there.
me? You think I'm
Shoo!
packing this up and taking it with me and putting it back on the wall? Well, I'm saying, not gonna be able to do it.
It's a little foldable thing like a skirt. You just unfold it, tape it up, and there you go.
Say, man, you wrong.
Well, I like ties. That's your fault. Wow.
Around like
People
ties,
that
but
don't
not
have
like
motion
that.
loves him. So, back to what we were saying. So, what I don't understand is if you meet somebody on social media and you know that this is what they do and you know that these are the things that they talk about, then why get involved? Like, you already know that this is what this person is. Is the expectation that you're supposed to change later? I mean,
Um,
what are we doing with that?
I
Phil
think
is
some people are
constantly dropping
hopeful.
off.
Who the hell is Phyllis? First of all, who the hell is Phyllis?
Phil, like, why you
I was
at one
about to
more
post
person?
that, but I ain't even posted that. I ain't even posted that one.
Why? Yeah, exactly, because we don't know who Phil will love on to. Oh my God.
I am.
Oh,
Hold
that's
on.
you. That's
I am
you.
single. I am single, and I am entertaining. I told B Love. I told Evolution on Feel Love Friday. I told some other people on other places. I am open to the opportunity. Y'all tell God's gift that we can go forward with the situation with for the love
What? We
of
doing the
Phil
show?
or for the
We
love
doing
of
the
Phil. You know,
show? Not
you know
Phyllis.
what I'm saying?
Good morning,
Hey, Sabrina.
Sabrina.
But I don't know about on the on
Um,
tour. I don't know about on the on tour.
you
Let's
might
see.
have to take it on tour.
Pause.
I think it's okay. I want my money. That's all I'm gonna say. That is
That's
all
the same
I'm
thing
going to
Evolution said.
say.
Talking about she want
Where
them.
my money? Where
Listen,
my
they
money?
trying to have me out here like an old hoe and whatnot. I'm like, what? Talking about, yeah, I want my go get it. I was like, what? I don't get down like that.
Yeah.
It's all good, King. Oh.
Well, right. I agree, King Talk. A lot of people like to think they can change somebody. You can't change anybody. Somebody can change if they want to. You can express the things that you like or don't like. And if a person wants to listen and make those shit, but why would you get with somebody and expect for them to change, especially when it comes to social media? Like, this is what it is. Social media streets are going nowhere. In fact, they get more ratchet. So, it's almost like you have to play in that space to, you know what I'm saying, to be able to even build in that space. Like, the more ratchet, the worse, or the better, but it is getting worse, which is why I'm not even on it. But again, if this is the world that you know that I'm in, why would you come in and try to change that? I don't understand. Gigolo Phil. Oh,
No,
they are
no, who said?
deflecting on you
Oh,
this morning. First of all,
Paul. Paul. First,
good morning,
J
Keisha.
Man.
Are you in Hawaii? If you're in Hawaii, let us know.
J Man, I don't know. I don't have no stops because there is no tour. First of all, second of all,
J
I
Man,
ain't
you
never.
supposed to be his road manager. That's the problem right
Yeah.
there. See, y'all ain't formed like Voltron yet and make this happen. J Man, you the road manager.
And King Talk,
Des, you put the
respectfully,
itinerary together.
respectfully, I ain't been a gigolo never in my life. I ain't never been a
Yeah.
gigolo. A damn, I don't get down like that. Me not gonna do it. Keisha Hall can have herself a
Yeah.
ball
Hey,
if
Dana.
her assets already loaded. You in the building? Aloha
She
to
said,
you.
"Aloha." Is she in
You in
Hawaii? Cause I'm
Hawaii?
jelly. Right? Are you?
Dana
Afro
Mac, what's good,
Latina.
Dr.
Good
Paul?
morning. Oh my God! Anytime I daydream. Oh, she
Afro
is so funny.
Latina.
I'm there with you,
Hey, yo,
girl. This is a Mai Tai, and we on the beach as we speak. Don't let this back screen fool you. We just making it look like we're working. We're
J Man
actually in
said, I
Hawaii
am the
right
road
now.
manner. Hey, Keisha Hall, you live in Hawaii or you just visiting Hawaii? Which one is it?
No, she's daydreaming. It's like she wants to be in Hawaii. She said, anytime I'm in Hawaii anytime
Oh,
I
anytime I
daydream.
daydream. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that's why I
I'm gonna
said,
say,
me too.
oh,
Right now, she and I are in Hawaii on the beach. This is a Mai Tai. It's made to look like a coffee cup, so it looks like we're
uh.
working.
Be love, you
I'm
you you get
daydreaming too.
around too. You move around. I don't mean to say get around. You move around.
Okay,
Y'all
thank
y'all
you,
make it a
Paul.
reality. Y'all make it a reality and get there.
I
It ain't but a
agree.
flight away. It's a long ass flight with a flight away.
We don't even got to go that far. Can I just tell you, I am totally okay with jumping down on one of these islands. You don't need, I think they just put up a post the other day, 12 islands where you don't need a passport. Like St. Thomas was one of them. Want to go there? I was just talking about that. Want to go there? Man, let's just go see some blue water. It is
Get your
nothing,
passport. Get your passport
nothing
out there
to
and relax.
do. I have my passport. I'm just saying, in case anybody got to wait, we don't even have to wait. We could just go. Look,
Oh,
tomorrow is not promised to anybody.
hold on
I
though. Hold
have
on.
no
Stay right
problem.
there. No, no. Who you invite? You said no. We don't need a. She put it
Keisha,
out there to somebody. No, no, no.
Keisha Hall. You
Uh
said
huh.
y'all need to go. I said Keisha Hall.
Okay.
Back up over there. We talking about you right now and your flights.
No,
Okay,
no.
don't worry
For
about
the
me over
love,
here.
for
Me
the
over
be
here.
love.
We all
Will
right.
there be love?
Yes,
That's the
let's go
show
to
for
St.
her.
Thomas.
That's the show for her. Will there be love?
Well, listen,
But she said,
I'm not worried about that right now. I am not worried about that right now.
I
I
feel
am
you.
not worried about that. I know Phil passport, his U.S. passport got a lot of stamps.
I don't know what she talking.
We
Look,
out.
look
Let's
at her.
go. Where we
Uh-oh, be love. You
going?
want to go to St. Thomas? Uh-oh. I'm
Let's
ready when
go.
you are, be love.
Let's go.
Uh-oh.
We have to do our own pajama jam party because Phil is BSing over here. We'll
Oh,
be on the beach saying this is Phil's pajama party. He
nah, no,
missed
you
it
not.
because he was too busy planning it. Come on. And Phil probably beat us down there because he's always on the move. That is so funny. That would be so
That
super
part.
fun.
You know how
That
I
would
say,
be
don't
so
meet me
super
there,
fun.
beat me there. Y'all get there like, girl, we getting away. As soon as y'all get on the beach, hey, what
Okay.
took y'all so long? I'm like, yeah.
I'll be like,
They be
did
like,
we leave him back in the DMV? What is he doing here? Be like,
listen, I'll be
what
like,
in the you
it's
were
like J
not
Man said.
invited are you doing here?
I'll be like J Man said, I move around like tires. You hear me? I be out chill. You hear me?
Meanwhile, J Man would have been like, all right, B, here's the itinerary. That's Dez. Dez on the itinerary. J Man's the road manager. He mops it out. Dez will hit me with, here's the itinerary. We doing Texas. We doing LA. We doing Philly.
Mrs.
Good
Ryder
morning,
is in the
Mrs. Ryder.
building. Twin mother of two kings is in the building. Salute.
Yes, good morning. Good
You got to
morning,
understand.
gang.
Yeah, like Beloved said, life is short though. So you all get out here and enjoy yourselves. See
Yes.
the sights, see the world. Don't just think that your neighborhood, your block, your city, your state is the end all be all. Get out and see different places. You know what I'm saying? Be mindful of where you travel because of the day, the time, the
Yeah.
age we live in. But get up, get out, and see something. You hear me?
Yeah.
It's a whole
For
world out
sure.
there.
Man, you
Right.
trying to come back with both your kidneys, but I'm just saying everything's a risk these days, so you never know. If you happen to come back with one, you can still function on the kidney.
And you
Just letting y'all
never
know.
know,
It's ethos.
you never know if you might find that love out there if you're single. If you're single, you never know.
There
Which
is
goes to
this.
kind of what you were
Listen.
saying about how people are dating and finding people online, offline, or whatever. It's a double edged sword because on the one hand you can find somebody good, on the other hand you can find somebody that's fraudulent, faking, or just some bullshittery. You have to be mindful, careful of what you do, how you do it, but you don't have to necessarily just shut down the possibilities because it starts out as an internet thing. Because as long as you can get on a plane, train, or automobile, y'all y'all can meet up and get to know each other, whatever. Or the person might be close to you. You just happen to meet them on the internet, and start to build a friendship. Then hopefully build into a relationship or whatever, whatever. So, be open to the possibilities. Be open to the possibilities.
Exactly.
Don't fight one
Be
person.
open. But here's all I'm gonna say
Oh, no,
about that is see things exactly for what they are. People are not very different when you meet them. Some people can be. Some people are very good at being one thing online and being another thing behind the
That's
scenes.
a
But take the
fact.
time to get to know somebody, before you. And is it okay? Like how they get down. Is it okay? Oh shoot, not private party, Phil. Whoa.
No, no.
What does that invite cost? But anyway,
What?
cause I want my money.
I'll
I
fix that real
want
quick.
my money. I don't feel like I'm getting my checks, yo. I'm gonna have to do a check. It don't feel like I'm getting my money. Oh yeah, I did read about that, Keisha.
Say what? Two big companies. What big companies?
It
You talking
was
about
one
airline?
airline, I believe. Yeah, I believe so. I'm gonna go look it up now. What y'all want to
You know
talk
what it
about? Because
is?
we're about to talk about everything.
You know what it is? It's not. It's not the. It's because of the real ID situation. I think it started. If
Really?
you talk
That's
about,
right. It
yeah.
started in May 2020. That is so crazy because I just flew. Okay, let's talk about that real ID thing.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I'm going to look up the story. We're going to talk about whatever it is you guys want to. Um, this can be one of them. New York apparently is sinking. We're going to talk about that. We're going to, get off the travel portion of the program is now closed, and we're going to talk about other ish. What I find interesting is even this whole real ID thing. What is that about? That's one more card you have to buy that says "Good morning, Watchman." That's just one more thing you have to buy.
Um,
Like, there's nothing wrong with my license, and I think, how do you certify real IDs, and why do we need them? Let me figure out what's going on with this story
the,
here
the the crazy
because
part about it is that's what the hell they supposed to do anyway. When you get an ID, they supposed to authenticate you are who you are before giving you that ID. So to me, it's just another way to get a couple extra dollars because one, you generally have to supply paperwork, documentation, et cetera, as to who you are, where you live, et cetera, et cetera. So they say they want a birth certificate. Don't you take that anyway when you get your ID initially? Don't you have to do that anyway? So what's
yeah, you have to
they're
take
trying to
your
combat
usually your birth certificate, like three things.
excuse me. They're trying
They're
to
trying to
combat
what?
counterfeiting. They're trying to combat counterfeiting and fake licensing, fake IDs and stuff like that. But that where there's the will, there's always going to be
I
the
do
way.
love that my
For
co-host be on it.
every measure, there's always going to be an anti measure that they put. They're going to put. There's going to be something in place to get around it. Unfortunately, but fortunately,
Yeah, so first of all, if this real ID situation was supposed to fall into play back in 2020, it just so happened to fall smack dab in the middle of the COVID situation where everything got shut down and it got
hmm
pushed to the side.
that's a fact.
They actually pushed it out to 2025 actually. So I don't really understand why to
2025.
May 7th. Yeah, on May 7th, 2025, US travelers must be real ID compliant to board domestic flights. So what happened was they pushed it out to this year, I believe. Yeah, look it up. I just looked it up.
Yeah, when they change it to 2025, because that must
I
be
think
something
at the
recent.
beginning of this year, they're not ready. They're not ready for the influx of people that would have to come in and be able to have to
And do
change
all
that
that.
over. And really, all it is, I believe, is bringing one more thing. I can't remember. I think it's a utility bill. So I had went to go change my license, and I was already there. And I said, "Let me get a real ID." What I didn't have, I had my birth certificate, my social security card. I had like a credit card. I didn't have a utility bill, and that was the one thing that kept me from getting the real ID. So now I have to go back. But does it say that 2025? Because that's what it says on Homeland
The first
Security.
one, yeah, the first one said, I was like, wow, I didn't know that.
So, yes, well, that's a good thing. So that's why
That's
I'm
good that
trying to
be more
figure
time.
out why these people got held back. If it was over this real ID situation, as you said, you can get your license online. It's already happening. It's not. Yeah. Why? Why would they keep this couple apart? Couple from here.
You can't get
Um,
your you can't get your real the real ID online. You got to go into a branch, if I'm not mistaken, Des. Unless you know something I don't
that's
know,
right.
you have to go in for that
That's that bootleg one they're trying to avoid. Des always up to on the
one.
good stuff. You got a bootleg cable box for me too, Des.
There's the black web talking about. Listen, I got the hook up. The
Right, I
stars
got the real
authenticated.
ID. I got the real ID. He said, "Yeah,
That's crazy.
you can get it now."
And at the end of the day, what are you gonna do? If
That's
you if you want to
crazy.
travel, if you want to get on a plane, what you gonna do? And then they're gonna make it to where you're gonna need it to at some point to be able to go to go through interstate travel, which is crazy because the right to travel is supposed to be set aside for you in the Constitution. That's the crazy part about it. That's the crazy part about it. Like,
Yeah.
how you gonna tell somebody they can't travel, you know, because they don't have this document that you want them to have, but you by the Constitution it says that every person is supposed to be able to travel freely, come and go as they please, basically. Make it make
Yeah,
sense.
okay. Well, first of all, let's start here. It was a spirit situation. So let's start there. No offense. Y'all know I get my Bougetto on. I am as humble and down to earth as anybody, but there's certain things when it comes to travel that your girl don't do. What your girl don't do is Spirit Airlines. We don't do Spirit at all. We don't do inns. We don't do Red Roof inns. We don't do Holiday inns. We don't do inns. No offense to an inn. I've just learned it's just not where I want to stay.
Not
That being
even
said,
not hold on, not even the residence in.
not the residence inn I will do, but that's again, it's not a Red Roof
I
inn and it's not a Holiday
know.
inn. It's not a
I'm thinking because I
motel.
already know.
Yeah.
There
Yeah, that's okay. There's levels to the end game too, just so y'all know.
you go.
And I know what they are as well. So I'm just saying, there's a certain quality of hotel as well as travel that I like. So let's get into this spirit story because they are the ones that, well, I believe it is. Let's see. Ignorance about the immigration status of Puerto Ricans living and traveling in the U.S. is nothing new. Sadly, a Puerto Rican family recently experienced the real life consequences of continued unawareness, this time with Spirit Airlines. Again, need we say
Yeah,
more?
man.
According to CBS on April 25th, Marivi Roman Torres and her husband Luis were traveling to Puerto Rico from LAX with a 2-year-old son, Alejandro. I mean, could they be more
What was their
Puerto
name?
Rican? Marivi,
What
Luis, and
you said my wee?
Alejandro.
You said what's
Her
the name?
name is
My wee wee.
her name.
What'd you
Her
say?
name. Her name is Marivi. Marivi.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, my bad.
Marivi. Marivi. Look at you.
I
Um,
didn't know the gun was loaded.
listen, I'm like, Spirit Airlines employee asked the couple to show their passports at the counter. Although it was unnecessary for the family to do so, they obliged the employee. Yeah, why? The employee then requested their son's passport. The couple's son didn't have one, but that shouldn't have been a problem as Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens and can use Puerto Rican issued documents for domestic flights. I'm sorry. At first, she told me this is an international flight. I told her, no, Puerto Rico is not another country. It's the US. I can sure imagine the conversation. And even when the mother tried to get supervisors for customer service involved, she said there was no empathy from Spirit's Airlines. Girl, that's what you paid $29 for that
Wow.
ticket. If you expect the empathy, you should have
$29.
known better. You know you did not pay no money for that ticket. 'Cause then Spirit Airlines denied the family entry into their flight, forcing them to go to a JetBlue counter where the couple paid a high price for last minute tickets. Mm-mm.
Wow.
The airline issued an apology to the family, but Marivi Roman Torres told CBS, "I think that my trust was broken. They're on something that should
Absolutely
not.
is.
There's something that should not have happened." Right. And that follows an incident with a Puerto Rican man who was recently denied service at a car rental service in the U.S. for not having a passport, something he didn't need as a U.S. citizen. Um, okay, first of all, this is an ignorant person thing. Okay, let me just
Yeah.
start there. This is it. If
Yeah.
somebody says that they need a passport because you're going into an international flight to Puerto Rico, clearly, sis, you did not pass geography, and clearly, sis, your spirit needs to do better. Please train your people on what international and domestic flights are, please, so that you don't run into this issue. That's what that
That
was, an ignorance thing. Um, that being said, I always find it interesting how Puerto Ricans kind of have their own struggle, and I'm not diminishing it, but it's not the same struggle as other races. At the end of the day, again, my mother being Puerto Rican and myself being Puerto Rican, and I've had people ask me where you come from, and I'm like, I was born on the island of Manhattan, and right there in Beth Israel Hospital, and didn't don't need a passport to get in and out. I know it can be a touchy subject. I think today what we're dealing more than with anything is just people's ignorance. And I think sometimes we have to think past that. Just be like, clearly, you don't know your geography. She's probably like 22 years old. She's getting paid $16 an hour, and she probably doesn't care. So, how do you handle it, Phil? Anyone want to
how do
go on
I?
Beef Grease Airlines? All you have to do is bring. I can't with you, Watchman.
I've never had nothing like that happen. People always question who I am, what I am, a lot or whatever. There ain't been too many people say nothing about the white stuff, but on the internet, mostly I get, they think I'm Puerto Rican or Dominican or something or whatever. But I never had no problems with traveling with them asking me for them documents. I think there's some confusion as to the implementation of the real ID stuff. I think that might be it. Hopefully that's it. Because if it's a racial thing or some other bullshittery, that's hella foul. I mean, still ain't no excuse even with the real ID thing because they should be acclimated on what's supposed to take place in there. Their higher ups should send down mandates and something to let them know, when these things are supposed to be implemented. But if I was them, I would sue the hell out of Spirit. Yes,
Really?
hurt where because that's discrimination. They are U.S. citizens by way of being a territory of the United States. So since when have you needed a passport to be able to rent a car from a U.S. company to take a flight in a U.S. Unless they were going overseas somewhere, unless they were going from Puerto Rico to like Jamaica or the UK or something.
On
Yes, you need a.
Spirit?
No, I'm just saying. I know I'm playing devil's advocate with that one. On
Right. You
Spirit,
sure are playing devil's advocate. I'm gonna need you to put that
Spirit,
little cape on. It was Spirit. This is
Spirit is
Spirit.
the
Spirit, get on your
Spirit is the
training
trailer
game.
park version. Spirit is the trailer park version of Soul Plane.
Right. The whole flight went to PR. Did they ask anyone else for passports? That's a good question. And that's what
Yes.
you start asking yourself. When do you get treated a little bit differently? And what do you do? Stay gracious and be like, hey, it's just somebody's ignorance? Or to your point, be like, all right, we have a lawsuit here because it impacts a lot of things. I mean, even as a little kid, you don't want to be part of a story where your parents were targeted for racism.
That
Yes,
part.
hit the like button, hit the like button. And I think it comes down to, we talk about money all the time. And for me, my thing with money is this is why I want to have money. I don't want to fly Spirit. I don't want now. That doesn't mean you don't go through that experience on a United or a JetBlue or anything like that.
Oh,
Let me be
I
clear.
bet not
That
ever
does
go through
not
that
mean
night,
that.
boy. I'm gonna tell
But
them a new
I'm
ass.
okay.
Pause.
But at least you get some credibility when you fly in a different airline. Like you don't got no credibility flying Spirit, sis. Your ticket was $29. You could get just about anywhere on Spirit for $29. You got you risking your whole entire life. You might be flying the plane at one time. Like you just never know with Spirit. But I just like, yeah, get your money up so we ain't got to worry about this because I'm just like, this right here is
But
not
guess
cool.
what, my Puerto
You going
Ricano
on it?
brothers and sisters, you better turn that $29 into the 2,900 or better in that lawsuit. You better get your paper.
Right. Flip that money because that is completely unnecessary. You'll be a spirit. Exactly. You will be a spirit. But even talking about money, and we didn't get to talk about it last Friday, right? Pretty scary because we were talking about all the migrants and people coming from different places here, because they don't have as good a situation somewhere else. Hard to believe. Hard to believe that the US is actually the best business in most places. Hard to believe, but still very true. You go to some of these places and you will never want to go back. That's why they're trying to get here. But
Mm.
in a lot of the world, on at midnight, Friday at midnight, China called in their loans from dozens of countries, from Pakistan to Kenya. So when we talk about itch better have my money, China put their gorilla down on 12 different countries just last Friday. And what does that mean? Because we all owe money, China. That's where the country is flying right now. Oh shoot, that's funny. It's right in his backyard.
Whatever.
It's right in his backyard. But this is what makes it scary is when we think that we got problems over here. These countries now can possibly put into basically they're in economic instability as we are, right? So a dozen poor countries are facing economic instability and even collapse under the weight of hundreds of billions of dollars in foreign loans, much of them from the world's biggest and most unforgiving government, China. An Associated Press analysis of a dozen countries most indebted to China, including Pakistan, Kenya, Zambia, and Laos, and Mongolia, found paying back that debt is consuming an ever greater amount of energy, schools open, provide electricity, and pay for food and fuel. And it's draining foreign currency reserves these countries use to pay interest on those loans, leaving some with just months before the money is gone. We're talking about 12 countries, four, right? Five that I just named right here on the brink of bankruptcy. Like they have no money. China's like, the hell with y'all. So y'all want to be suspect acting. We need our money. That means no school, no food, no fuel, no nothing for all of these countries. Where do you think these people are going to go?
Oh, they. That's why the dollar's not gonna crash. Cause what happened? Your face.
Nothing.
Your, oh, cause your
I'm
you
not
said
getting into it. Yeah, I just read something in the comments and I'm like, okay, we just gonna keep going. Go ahead.
Hey, Keisha Hall.
Devas,
So now,
it's
no, but
agreed. Harlem
that's
history.
one of the reasons why I believe the dollar is not going to
Good
crash
morning,
because
Richard.
such like that, they're going to pivot and go for U.S. backing for stuff. They're going to have to because and I was just when you were talking about it, I was trying to look up where Akon, what country in Africa did he build this electricity company because he partnered with the Chinese to do that in Africa. I was trying to see what country in Africa or what countries he's done this in, because I think Kenya might be one of them. But it's interesting to see how this is going to play out, both for those countries, but also for the broader global scope of what's going on with China, America, et cetera, et cetera. So pay attention. Pay attention. It's a battle over. It's
Yeah.
a deeper thing. It's a battle over the economy. It's a battle
Good
over
morning,
economy,
Cassie.
financial dominance. With them trying to move away from the U.S. dollar and control the global economy. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Some of them
It
countries they're
is.
going,
I mean,
but some of them they ain't going to have to. Some that are in like the Asian portions of the world, they definitely going to have to pay up. But what you gonna do and make Africa what you call it? Because I,
well,
I don't
nothing. They default. Okay, so let's think of this as a very simplistic situation when it comes down to
know.
they have low because so basically even the US has some of the best credit, used to have some of the best credit in the world. We owe money too. That money that we owe comes from the fact that we're able to borrow. Able to borrow because we have a credit score with the world. That's why this debt ceiling, which again we're not talking about, nobody's talking about, but this debt ceiling that Biden is trying to get approved, which is what? Being able to pay our bills. Oh, and being able to pay bills coming down the pipe. And right now, what's going on is the Republicans and the Democrats are very far apart because of that debt ceiling. Do we cap it? Which you can't. Inflation forces us to have to make more money. We don't have that money because our dollar is dropping, but so that means that we now have to print more money, which means really nothing in essence. So when you say they're going to come to the US to get money, we don't have any money. We have no money to lend out. In fact, our own loans are about to come due, and we're not in a good place to pay our bills. So I say all that to say is we need to be at this blue water real soon, because the blue water, we ain't gonna be able to go nowhere. Could you imagine an economy where it's just like nobody's traveling, nobody's going anywhere, nobody's doing anything because they don't want to spend any money because they don't know when their money is going to be gone. Phil, we love you. Yeah, Phil for president. Okay. He
How they
better throw
take
that
that?
ring in there. Yeah, we he better throw his hat in the ring, because right now, this is, you know what? If you wanted to win a presidency, right now would be the time to do it. Our country is in a complete state of confusion, which is
It really gets,
why you have all these people throwing their hat in the ring, because you never know. It really can be anybody's race.
but the China situation is deeper than just a regular loan. You because the U.S. is denying the the U.S. is denying paying or giving the mounds of gold that they've held in Fort Knox and places like that on behalf of China and other countries. Like they hold not only the U.S. gold supply at these places, but they hold gold reserves for China, uh, India, like different other countries. So a lot of time is a lot of
Yeah, we
jockeying
do, Cassie.
and all that. And some countries don't like the fact that the U.S. approves printing more money, because basically, if you got your own printing company, you can print what you want and put it out there. Because when you flood the market, it kind of changes up the valuation for a lot of different things, not only the dollar, but in a lot of countries or whatever. And for countries that are already paying out maybe more for the dollar than they are for their own currency, it further jacks up their economy or whatever. So foreign companies definitely have a righteous complaint. However, you know, China's been moving and doing certain things, for the last few years. So it's a, you want to try to bully me, I'm gonna bully you back type of situation, just on a global scale. You just got to
Right.
pay attention. You got to pay attention to what's going on and what they're not telling you. Pay attention.
Right. Agreed. And there's so much, like when you talk about politics, it's one of those slippery slopes, because it can go so many different directions, especially when you talk about the history of it. Um,
That
so let's talk a little bit about who's had their hat in the ring or expected to throw their hat in the ring for president in 2024. All right. From the Democrats now, these are Big Phil for president. Yes, right here. Look, our very own Big Phil. His policies are very flexible, but they also get results. So we need to make sure we have the right, political party in place. You need the right platform. You need a Secretary of
I got my
National
vice president right here.
Security. We got the IRS. We
I
got
got
all
my
of it.
vice
So
president right here. Beefula Harris.
we'll change.
Beefula
We
Harris.
Beef Harris.
The beef grease queen herself, ladies. Listen,
I
ladies and
can't
gentlemen,
right
we got the winning ticket. You hear me?
now. Oh,
Damn
I
it.
can't with you. I can't with
Love you,
you.
sis. Love you, sis. But I couldn't
Oh
help
my
myself.
God.
Who would be my
Yo,
president?
that is so funny.
Nobody right about now. What are you talking about?
That would be the real show right there. That would be the real show. Trying to find the president, some
No,
sanity, and
no,
and a
what? No,
partner.
what? No, what?
Yes. Oh my God. What rapper playing? That is funny. Oh wow. Beef Mala Harris is crazy. That is funny. That is funny. He's like, that's the winning ticket.
Hey, hold up. Hey,
Light
you wearing your
skinned,
hair?
light
Look, look.
skinned
Hey,
for
you wearing your hair straight?
2024.
You wearing your hair straight down like she normally have her hair too? So
Very Kamala
that
Harris.
made it easy. That made it easy.
Very Kamala Harris.
Come on,
Like, no.
people of Harris.
Okay. You are so crazy. Yes, that sounds just right.
But I didn't mean to
Bright skin
interrupt
for
you.
20. Exactly. Bright skin for 2024.
No,
Light skin
hold
is
on. Pause,
in.
pause. Y'all gonna
Never
stop
stop.
putting it on the skin tone. Listen, because I don't want that to be a thing. I don't want people to think, oh, no. I like a
We
French
did it,
vanilla and a
girl.
dark chocolate mocha. So don't let that be the reason.
All right, that part. But let's talk about who our competitors would be, okay? Y'all ready? Y'all ready for the fun part of this? All right, from a Democrat. Now, these people haven't put their hats in the ring yet. This is what they're anticipating. So either they have or these are the people that they expect to put for 2024, president for 2024. So Pete Buttigieg, who's currently the Secretary of Transportation. Remember him? He actually did run last time and people really liked him.
Who is this again?
Pete Buttigieg, the gay guy from Texas, I believe.
I never heard of him, but
Okay, then let's move on. One of our favorites. We always say to ourselves, one of our favorites, but for some reason can never just get that nomination is Bernie Sanders. Vermont
Bernie.
senator could not defeat Hillary or Joe. First of all, very sensible. He has very sensible political views, but Bernie is old as dirt.
Bernie.
Ernie Burt him her like walking down
And
Sesame Street right now.
he have a short name almost like yours. So how you going? But okay, go ahead.
Bernie Sanders. Would you vote for Bernie Sanders?
I would. I would.
Yeah, he's too old.
He
Yeah,
just
nobody
old.
wants his old ass.
I
He
think
is
that's the major
old.
turnoff. I think that's the major turnoff with him for a lot of people that he's old. Because I
One
think a lot of people, no matter what side of the table they sit on, kind of see a lot of his views as being like realistic and attainable. A lot of people, but I think his age is a major throwback for him.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because if he was a VP, he actually like if he would have been a VP a few tickets ago, he would have been president by now. But for some
Yeah.
reason, him and number four on this list is Elizabeth Warren, another very sensible person with sensible politics. But not only
Elizabeth
is
Warren.
she just a
Let's think about
woman
that.
that I think holds her back, she's not appealing to the eye. And I don't mean you got to be a video, type of chick vixen to run for president or anything like that. But I think that there has to be a certain package that goes
Mm.
with being a president. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't think she really cuts it for us. And maybe it's just the point that she's a woman. And we've talked about whether or not this country is ready for women presidents. We haven't gotten there. We still going down the line. DC Mumbo. I'm just looking at an article where it's saying who these are the people that they anticipate will be throwing their hat into the ring for 2024.
Mm.
Number 7. So Bernie was 8, Pete was 9. Number 7, this should get y'all going. Alexandria Ocasio Cortez. She's a New York representative. She'll just be turning 35 right before the election. We've
Mm.
all heard of her and her politics. Very in your face, millennial kind of politician, but she's not always wrong. But I think sometimes, again, the woman things takes away from her, and the way she approaches things kind of takes away from her. She would not be getting my vote. Phil? No, she was not
I
close enough.
I have no opinion on her at all. I don't.
Okay. He's like, next. Okay. John Bell Edwards, Louisiana governor, proved he can win in the South. I don't even know who this guy is. I don't know any of his policies or his platforms. I'm on to the next with him. Phil?
I concur. I concur.
Okay. Okay. Number
Next.
5. This is the Democratic side goes. For those who just joined, thank you so much for being in the live. For those that are rocking with us, we're talking about potential 2024 presidential candidates. Would you vote for them? Would you not, based on what you know? We are down to number 5, Gretchen Whitmer. She's the Michigan governor who they actually plotted on kidnapping her. The Proud Boys or whatever, if y'all remember, they had
Wow.
put a whole plot together to kidnap her. She was very anti-Trump when he was in the House, and she would not conform to his policy. She would not, conform to where with the things he wanted to do, and so they put a whole plan together to kidnap her.
Mhm.
Her hat may be in the ring. I don't know her politics under that, other than I know that they're very on the opposite of Trump. But I would vote for her. I'd need to hear more. Gretchen Whitmer. Bill,
Um,
next.
yeah, yet again.
We don't know these people. Okay. Elizabeth Warren, which we just talked about. We know these are the people who are throwing their hat in the ring for president. Like this could be our next this could be one of our next presidents. All right, Amy
Doubt
Klobuchar.
it,
Have y'all
but
remember her? Do you guys remember her from last time? White lady. Sure. Okay. How about Joe Manchin? Joe
I
Manchin is
remember
that
Joe Manchin.
senator who had a whole nervous breakdown recently. Did he not? He suffers from really bad mental health issues, which I'm not judging, but do I really
Yeah, he's
want
not gonna
you
make
running
it.
my country?
He's not gonna make it.
Yeah. Okay. And then there's Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom, California, governor of California, really favorite, has really good policies. He's for the people, but still stays very much within his, within his lane. He might be able to get my vote. All right.
I was
Those were
about
the
to say
Democrats.
he has the strongest chance of a real shot, especially with everything that's going on in California now and these progressive moves that they're making across racial lines, across a lot of
Is
different
he?
areas. So
Uh huh.
you might want to keep an eye on that one. You definitely might want to keep an eye on that.
Well, it's interesting because like you don't know who any of these people are until they start running for president, and then you start hearing all about them and what
The
they
good,
do, what
bad,
their
and different.
policies. Right,
Yeah.
the good, bad, and the ugly, and I'm just gonna talk about a couple on the Republican side. I won't go through all of them, but it would be very interesting because we hear these names in the news all the time without realizing how powerful they truly are, and again that they could be our future presidents. Let's go to Ted Cruz. He's a Texas senator. He's also the same guy that when they went through a whole, I believe it was a hurricane last year, a lot of flooding, he put his family on a plane to Puerto Rico, I believe, or to some island, and flew
Got
away
him out the
while his
way.
constituents were flooded. So um, that's what I remember about you, Ted Cruz, amongst a bunch of other no good situations. So not only do you not get my vote, sir, next. Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
Gavin Newsom is. What about the guy who's saying because I got high, he run it too? Yes, the we talked about him, the rapper. What's his name that we talked about? Um, we talked about him. He's not on. This is
Oh,
the Caucasian
Afro Man,
Afro
Afro
man. Yeah,
Man.
this is the Caucasian list. This is not the hood list. This is the Caucasian list. Then you have Mike Pence. Now, could you imagine our former vice president running for presidency? This was a man who had a whole fly sitting on his head for a long period of time, which just confirms what a pile of
That he's a
crap he
piece of.
was. Would he? But if he ran for president, would you vote for him?
No, I think he
Okay.
has one of the strongest chances of getting the Republican vote, though.
You think so?
I, for a couple of reasons. One, because some people view him
Yes.
as a victim about
Mm,
the January 6th situation that happened. The fact that he stood up against Trump. What Trump did,
right.
Trump pissed off a lot of heavy Republican Party members, and
Yep.
the fact that he kind of stood up and stood away from and some of the things that Donald Trump did looks favorable to some of the Republicans. Some of the Republicans not so much, but to other ones that I think mean something to the party, I think he there's a glimmer in their eye. Would he be the best person to run or for the country? I don't think so.
What?
A lot of his policies and ways are a lot harsher than a lot of what we've seen from
Right.
both Republican and Democrats, and not a good look for the country. However, I honestly think he has one of the strongest chances for their party. And but I'm not voting for him at all. But you know,
I mean, listen, we have Republicans that who follow, who are in this talk right now and who have said that they're Republicans. They have supported Donald Trump. We have the discussions, right? It's not about, any, like, your choice is your choice. We are all for that. We're just having the discussions because, these are the people that change a lot of what's going on in the world. And then we want to sit back and say this, president doesn't do this or this one doesn't do that. You chose him. You chose him like you chose that deadbeat baby daddy or that deadbeat baby mama. You chose them. So when we have these conversations, it really comes down to, doing your homework. The last two
that
that we have, which is Ron DeSantis, like when you see what's going on with him down in Florida as governor, what do you think is going to happen? Oh wow, Watchmen. What do you think is going to happen when he's actually in the presidential office, like with Ron
boy,
DeSantis?
boy.
So, and then of course you have Donald Trump, and there's more people in that game. But we'll continue to talk about politics on a very macro level, and not really dig down because people see what it is they want to see when it comes to history, or they know what they think that they know. Um, So yeah, that's politics, y'all.
Pilot.
And presidents are merely figurehead. That's right. They surely don't. It is the people that part Harlem history. I can't lie. Trump did a lot for New York, not the people, but the city.
So look,
Oh,
while we there, I'm
okay.
glad he said that. We complain so much about people being fraudulent, scandalous, scam artists, robbers, murders, killers, thieves, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
You'll ostracize little JoJo or somebody in your hood who's a scam artist, a con artist, or not upright standing, but you will applaud not him not you Harlem, but people will applaud Trump because he did some little penances of things, but it's done a lot of damage and underhanded things, business wise, personal wise, etc. Right before our eyes, a lot of things. Some of
Mm-hmm.
the things we are learning as we go along, and some things we found out that he did years ago, etc., etc. Y'all are actually cool with that.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are actually. You might as well elect somebody that's coming out of prison, reformed or not, to run the country. Make it make it's like we complain about certain things, but then we turn a blind eye. We cool to other things. Like you got to make it make sense. And the president, even though he is not the end all be all, like Knight Rider said, when it comes to making policies and things of that nature, we still should have a figurehead in office that one is respectable, that's respected, not just here domestically but internationally. That
Mm-hmm.
has their hands as clean as possible when it comes to a lot of bullshittery. And I'm not going to drag it, but for that reason, that's one of the reasons why I think that Trump will not get reelected. Period. But we got to wake up. We got to wake up. We can't have our cake and eat it too. We can't just say okay because he did this or open the door for that, but at the same time he's doing a lot of underhanded things, talking to and about women, in a messed up light, et cetera, and think that that's okay. But that's just my ones and twos, to each his own.
Yeah, no, I think first of all, I agree. I think it's so funny how we pick and choose what it is we want to make a point about and what we don't, what we choose to let slide. This man is a rapist, he's a misogynist, he's a corporate thief. That's what
Allegedly,
people don't
and we can't
understand.
use that R word on here.
Oh,
If I'm not
sorry.
mistaken.
Right, sexual. He has sexually assaulted women. He basically is a white collar. He does white collar crime. And it's like, oh, what, it was okay for him to pay a few $100s or a few $1,000s in taxes when this man is a multimillionaire. When us, we pay thousands of dollars in taxes. That's okay. And I just, to your point, you're right. People pick and choose what they think is okay. And that's why, while we have the discussion, it's up to you to ultimately go out and vote.
That's
But
a
don't
fact.
complain. Don't complain when you're not getting the result that you want. The people who are making these decisions are the people that you put in office.
That's a fact.
So Biden too. Nope. Let me tell you something. Nobody is sitting here saying, "Oh, well, listen." No, that's not what we're saying.
Yeah,
Nobody's
definitely
saying that this
saying
one
that.
is doing better and this one's not doing the other. They both suck. They are right now. Our government is lacking. Y'all too business too big. The government's too busy worried about the wrong thing. You're worried about whether or not I want to have a baby. You're worrying about whether or not how it takes me to get down that road. When I do have a baby, you're worrying about whether or not it's a male or a female and making sure that we're respectful to the feelings of a 2-year old. That's what the government's worried about. Worried about the things you need to be worried about. Worried about our economy. Stop worrying about my religion. Stop worrying about what I want to do with my body. Stop worrying about if I wanted that. None of those things are your business. It's your business to run this country. So that's that. What I did find interesting in reading my stories this week is that New York City is sinking. Under 1.7 trillion tons of skyscrapers made useless by remote work. So now we're blaming it on remote work. Here's what I find interesting. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of apartment for rent in New York City, but they can't put any of these homeless people on them because they're priced out rental wise. And so now you have all this space, nowhere to put all these people. Nobody wants to come together to figure out how to put it together, but now the city is sinking. Start spreading the news. New York's gradually sinking today. It's well established that sea levels are already rising across the globe, and New York City's brush with Hurricane Sandy brought a Florida level flood to Gotham. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration recently projected that in 2050, moderate flooding is projected to occur more than 10 times as frequently as it does now. Cue 10 times as many videos of brown water rushing into the subways. But oh God, and I don't want to. If y'all ever been in the subway system with those massive rains where it's just pouring down, it is one of the most disgusting situations ever. But anyway, stunning research finds that the famous New York City skyline is falling into the sea 1 millimeter at a time. Wow.
Mhm.
Which is 1 milliliter, 2 milliliter is 2 pennies put together. So in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't seem like very much. But most of this is happening because of the weight of all of these unnecessary skyscrapers.
That ain't it.
What is it? Let's talk
Y'all
about
big,
it. Let's talk about it.
y'all, y'all big head ass New Yorkers. That's what it is. The weight of the big old jug heads is weighing down the state of this. I'm playing. Shout out to all my people in there. I'm playing.
Like they got big brains. What you talking about?
No,
What you
no, no.
saying?
It ain't brains. It's water weight. Water weight. Big ass gallon jug heads. No, no, I'm playing. Shout out to my New Yorkers. But yeah, it's been happening for a while. And New York isn't the only place that's going through it. California is going through certain changes geographically, Florida as well.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
it's something that happens over time anyway. One, because of global warming. Two, because of landmass shifts and changes, etc. Um, we got to be
Not the
careful though
BBLs
with
and
these
people.
these metropolises like New York City and stuff like that, Harlem, Manhattan, where you have so many people. Because to keep it a buck,
Oh,
I'm joking about the big headedness, but it ain't just the skyscrapers, but the amount of people, the mass of people. That's weight. When you think about it, that's
right.
weight.
It's all weight. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
in
sure.
one confined place, will along with the rising tide and waters, will um cause issues or whatever over time, of course.
It's
Right,
interesting
I'm
because
playing.
there's movies out there that speak about things like that. That these kind of things that happen, where we'll see things like the COVID, a pandemic, or you'll see things about New York City being flooded, and we always say, we look at it as just a movie until it's not. What the hell do you do if all of a sudden buildings just start falling in the waters? Like, it's so crazy to think about, because all you in your mind, all you want to do is run, but you can't outrun water.
And it was crazy because I've seen some of the footage of like when it rained hella hard in New York and the water flowing down into the subways and people trying to wade through it and walk through it and all that. I'm like, that's
Yeah.
crazy. And it would
Yeah.
happen to me. It would be dangerous because of the third rail and stuff like that, electricity. It, it shouldn't have to
Third
be a
rail,
pleasant
the
way to live, but
trash.
the powers that be in New York and even broader in the United States needs to get on that and decide what they're going to do to shore up New York, shore up Manhattan, shore up areas that have water level issues or whatever. They need to get on that.
Uh-uh. They're gonna learn how to swim if they don't. Well, they should be all right with those BBLs. They got their automatically built in
The
floating
BBL, they about
device.
to take the boat to work real soon. Hey, stop capping, damn it.
Okay. I'm selling life jackets for the low. Hit me up. Okay, Des gonna have his whole little stand. What is gonna be like? Life jacket. Cash app me. What's your cash app, Des? BX. Yo, that's crazy. But it's crazy to even think like that. Do you think about stuff like that? Like when you're moving to a new location, do you think about things like flood? Do you think about things like crime? Or is it just like I need to be here and that's where I'm going?
Um, I think some people don't take enough due diligence when before they move certain places. They might see a certain area like, oh, it looks nice, or oh, it has this amenity, or oh, these shops are around, but they're not really doing the background history uh, when it comes to crime, when it comes to weather conditions, when it comes to natural disasters, and or the change of environment, such as Manhattan and what's going on with that. People do need to do their due diligence before you buy property, before you decide to up and just move you yourself and or your family across country, across state, wherever. Because you might be moving into something
Yeah.
or literally and figuratively that you're not really prepared to deal with over time.
For sure. I know back in the days it was just about, making sure there was enough stores, transportation, I could get back to and from work. I don't have to walk too far to get to a store. But now it's a whole lot that goes into it. Y'all don't forget me and Dad's got those VCR and DVD tapes of what happened in the spring. Oh Lord, these two are out of control. Yeah, they're thinking about having a plan. What should I do? I told you what to do, DesBX. Put your head between your legs, kiss your ass goodbye, and roll out. Like there's nothing else you can do
Dad's already talking
for
about moving.
Memorial. They don't discounted the tape. You can buy one DVD, get
Get
another
one
seat.
half off.
Right.
Look,
Put one
Dad's
in each
already talking about
room.
moving anyway. So what he talking about? He talking about getting up out of there anyway.
Keisha Hall, yeah, pedophiles. That's crazy. Like we never looked for. Well,
That's a fact,
pedophiles
Keisha.
was not at the top of the list, but yeah, now it is.
It should be.
That's
It should.
crazy.
And a lot of states, a lot of jurisdictions got websites, databases where you can actually go see what's actually near you, who's around you, uh, or whatever. I remember I was living somewhere and it was somebody like two, 3 blocks down the block, and I was like, oh yeah, definitely kept my eyes out for that. Especially being a father, uh, with children in the house, you got to be, you know,
Yeah, for
vigilant.
sure. For sure. But I think the danger's kind of always been there. We just, I don't know. We just didn't
It
talk
was
about it, I
unknowing.
guess.
It's unknowing. Like, there's a difference between not knowing you got somebody some kind of unscrupulous character living near you, or
Right.
you knowing. Because it's like, oh, when you know somebody might have had a problem or might have been convicted of this or that and the third, you can kind of watch out for you. I mean, you're supposed to watch out for your surroundings and your environment anyway. But a lot of times we go to and
Right.
fro, and be like, okay, I'm good, or okay, I've been in this neighborhood for this long, that long, that ain't not gonna happen, da da da. But you never know because new people moving in, and some of the old people in your neighborhood been on the low for so long, you don't know what you're living around or who you're living around.
Yeah,
To be
for sure. Listen, let's not act like everybody ain't got an
all
Uncle Joe or Uncle somebody who, you know what I'm saying? We all kind of know you can't leave the kids alone with them. You like, no, you don't leave Uncle Ned, no.
not in my family. He got dealt away with.
Man, listen, I think everybody has one. Some people don't even talk about it, but um on an up note, the Lakers are out of the finals.
Not
And
yet.
you know what? What do you mean? Yes, they
Don't they
are.
got
The
a game
Celtics.
four? Don't they got a game four today?
No, yeah, the Lakers are out of the final, guys. Let's
Oh, you
just
saying is that they
bank it.
done?
Yeah, the
Ah,
Lakers are
ah!
done
Hold
and
up, wait, hold
done,
up. Did they play again? Yeah,
done,
I'm with you.
done
I'm
and
with you.
done, done and done. Let's just wrap this up, please, because I am
You
so
trying to get
over
out? You trying to
them.
get our live reported? What? Who
Okay.
said? Who?
Right. So who watched the game? They are over. It's a wrap. Some people not enough space. Some people will be living on park service land. They already do. I find it so interesting that they are creating these tent encampments. You know what I'm saying? They're building like these little, you see them, just blocks and blocks of people. And I actually saw on TikTok this guy who made this homeless guy. It was like a little box, but it was a little home and it had a window in it and a door. He could lock it. And really it was just enough room for him, maybe a couple of things, but it was enclosed. So he didn't have to worry about the winter. He didn't have to worry about the summer. It's like, why not create something like that? A tiny home environment for, you know what I'm saying? We don't all need this huge amount of space. There's beautiful tiny homes, you know what I'm saying? They cost
Mm-hmm.
$10,000. Come on, like we have to figure out a solution. And it goes back to what we were saying last week. Like, take care of America. Take care of us. We don't have a problem with y'all taking care of anybody else, but take care of us. And you know, I'm done saying I have all types of animals and I can't even kill them. I'll go to what kind of animals you got in your backyard though? Thanks, Rich. Good morning. It's over for them. It's over
Hey,
for them, Rich, tonight or
but
tomorrow, whenever they play. I think they played last night, so
twofold.
it ain't over till
California
it's over.
California is a progressive places where they have started building certain things like that, like a little tiny home developments where they might have 10 to 12 of them on a plot of land or whatever, and it's to help people get back on their feet or whatever, part of a program, whatever, which makes sense. Which makes sense, and
Yeah,
it saves money for people who have jurisdictions to have to house people in hotel rooms and things of that nature. Build little tiny houses and save money for the local government and also help people get out the streets and get out of these tent encampments. But the irony of what you just said about taking care of America, before 9/11, homeless people lived like right damn near right across from the White House
right.
at a time, and it was an eyesore. And 9/11 gave them an excuse to move them out because before that they really either didn't care to move them
Couldn't
out
do
or
any.
didn't pay them attention or couldn't.
Right.
And it's a shame because DC being the nation's capital, the hub of all the bullshiggery, uh, and what's supposed to all be good about America, the fact that you would have homeless people living two blocks within blocks from the White House is crazy. It's crazy because how
Yeah.
can you go want to render aid to foreign countries and to other entities and people, but you're allowing your people to kind of go by the wayside. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can't give everybody a handout, but you can build infrastructure and programs to give them a hand up.
Absolutely. And how about, so one of the things that Biden is doing now, and I know he's a sensitive name, but he's trying to get the rich to pay more in taxes, which has been a platform that people have stood on for a long time in terms of
I think
getting
they
them to pay
should.
their fair share. They absolutely should. My thing is, why not for these landlords who have, first of all, don't get it confused. These landlords who own these buildings in New York City, generational wealth. They start with one little building, they don't pick up two, three. These buildings with these multi-unit apartments where you have a lot of apartments,
Mhm.
multi-generational wealth. These are all owned by families who hand these buildings down to their kids and to their kids. Number one, why not take a percentage of those and make those for a certain and I know now in order to build in New
Um,
York, a lot of these new constructions, you have to allocate a certain amount of apartments for people who live within a certain income range. So they are doing that. But on the other side, for these older buildings that are charging $3,000, $4,000 a month on rent, you need to have those rent controlled apartments. They really are trying to get away from that, but that's what they would be, rent controlled, where they cost a certain amount. You've made a certain income, and basically you can hand it down from your family to your family so that they can go ahead and have a place to live. So there's so many ways that we can solve this. We just don't, because it comes down to the main thing, which is money and greed.
that's a fact.
But people are out here hurting other people while they're doing this, because when you don't feel like you have any money, you don't have a place to live, you got nothing going on, you got nothing to live for, you have nothing to live for, and you don't care if you take yourself out as well as other people.
Mm. And speaking of the tax
Yeah.
code, speaking of taxes, um, the taxes should definitely be increased on the rich. Yeah, there's be some tax benefits for the rich because they help do other things for the economy in certain
Money
instances.
rich.
However, the tax code itself, that as we know it, was written for corporations and businesses. It wasn't written
Yeah.
for private citizens. However,
Nope.
we're paying the majority of it, and that's the crazy part about it. If you look at how, if you get down into it and research, the tax code was not written for the private citizen. It was written for business entities and corporations. Period.
Right. And yet here we are, the one tasked with fixing all of this stuff. It doesn't seem like it. It just seems a few more pennies and a few more dollars. What we're not noticing is that the tax dollars that we're paying go less and less towards us and go more and more towards things and programs that we're not necessarily supportive of, i.e., taking care of people who are coming in, as opposed to taking care of the people that we have, here. And it is a big problem, and how do we fix it? We've talked about this before. That's the big question, is the how.
And BS wars that are paraded as one thing, but really for private agendas for some of
An
the
agenda for
elites
something
in
else.
their companies. That's a fact.
Yep. Can't risk the paper. I'm not paying. That's funny. Not rich
Well,
quench TV and film. Rich like Beyonce and Jay-Z, who just spent what, $30 million. I don't even know how much on some crazy house. And you know what I say? Good for them. You
yeah,
work
good for
hard.
them.
You're out here hustling. You know what I'm saying? Like, go do you. Go make wealth look absolutely fantabulous. I love it. I like wealth. I'm not mad at it.
That's a fact, Bacardi.
Yeah, the shelter system is, yeah.
It has to be
I think that's
revamped.
what makes people do the whole homeless situation thing. And I think, again, when you put a mixture of everything and anything in one environment, you're going to get, everybody doesn't have good intentions. Everybody's mindset is not in the same place. Everybody's heart is not in the same place, and it's why it's such a struggle with having to do something and then figuring out
Mhm.
other ways to do it. And I think one of the scariest parts is that from a homeless, younger homeless, like there are people who actually believe that the age of 18, you got to get out of my house, and actually put their kids out of their house. And now you have kids out here who are on the street homeless. Like, it's just creating this vicious cycle, of broken. And I was at the mall yesterday, and I ain't gonna lie, I was looking around. I was paying attention to everything. Like I sat down to eat, but I was looking to see who was coming in and out, looking to see what the temperature was. I'm like, do I have to take a, you know what I'm saying? Do I need to flip this butter knife into something of a more defensive situation, because I'm sorry, that's the world we live in. You never know.
Yeah, yeah. Not even just from
Hey,
people,
yeah,
the regular bad apples that you have to look out for, but you got to be looking out for sickos that want to come up in a mall environment or something to shoot the place up and this that and the third. You have to be in this day and age be forever vigilant, not live in fear, not walk around
right.
scared, but just mindful, eyes open, paying attention to your surroundings, who's moving, what they doing, what they not doing, not trying to be nosy, but just
Yeah,
keeping
paying
keeping
attention.
yeah, paying attention. That part.
Paying
What's up,
attention.
Al?
Is y'all Karen B knife. Listen, I will make a B knife out of something. Don't
Not a
get it
B night
confused.
to the
There, it's so funny because in my pocketbook I have a combination of all types of things, right? I have like tweezers, and this is more stuff for like women's stuff. It's for the edges. I need my for the edges. But I also have little things like if I get into my purse, I know that I may be able to defend myself. I may be able to unlock a door. Like, you know what I'm saying? I keep MacGyver type of things in my purse because you never know. I will be the one in the movie that's like, "What you need? A hairpin, a tweezer, some rope, thread. What we doing? A tourniquet, some stitches. What are we doing? I
I'm
got hand
ready.
sanitizer.
I
I'm
got
ready." You know, it's important to be aware at all times. Yeah, you have to be alert. You absolutely. In younger days, I was outside. Now at this age, I observe everything. I think twice sometimes when I go walk in the park. Yeah, like I would even say, girl, do not be out in the park. But I am in my 50s, and I will tell you that I still when I walk somewhere, like let somebody know where I am, I will not be on the next 48 hours. Like this will not be a hey, have y'all heard from Be Love? The last time we saw her, she was entering a park. That's not going to be my story. Like we're not disappearing on some wooded trail
angry.
because I felt the need to be adventurous. This is not what we're doing today. This is just not. Hey, hey. You need bear spray. Yes, B Love is gonna be the next. Yes, I will be the next Batgirl, but I won't be that girl because I just don't understand it. I'm not jogging at Central Park at 9 o'clock at night. I'm not
And that's
walking into
crazy
the
anyway.
wooded woods. Like when I lived up in Connecticut, they had this beautiful nature path. It was in the woods. There would be nobody for miles and miles. Why am I in there by myself? What sense does that make to anybody? It just doesn't.
Some people look at it
I'm
like, oh, it's peace and serenity because there is no people. But that's the perfect time for something to go wrong from unscrupulous people or wild animals or anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you got to make it make sense. Like, oh, is this the smartest place for me to be? That's like you going jogging in the desert. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. And if I feel anything at all that doesn't fit in my spirit, like if something's like go, I'm out. I don't need to talk it out with any kind of sixth sense that I have. So why? No, we're leaving. The kids will be like, "Mom, I don't care. Get your stuff. Let us go." And it'll just be like, why? Because you never know what could save your life. Like you never know what situation you're avoiding. I will not be her. I walk down Billionaires Road ready to pop up. Exactly. Billionaires can get at you. Look at me the wrong way. Look at Jeffrey Epstein. A damn
You hear
hot
me?
mess. Yes. Rather be safe than sorry. And I think doesn't mean again you can't live your life, but it's just like you have to be aware. We live in a world where we have to be aware because there's Karens. It's so funny. We would think of wild dogs. We would think of somebody coming to kidnap you. Today, you got to watch out for the Karens of the world. They be rolling up on you. What's your name? What are you doing here? What's going on? If you don't get the hell out of my face,
Hold up
Karen,
though. Hold up.
the
I'm
Karens are
glad
the
you
new
brought that up.
Doublemint pitches.
They talking about making the term Karen a racial slur.
Oh, wow. Of course they are.
I just
Something that
heard this this
identifies them
weekend.
in
I
a
was like,
negative
what?
way.
Bro, I was like, what? Are you serious? Like, yeah, it should be a negative connotation to some bullshiggery that's been happening to us for
For
years.
years.
But to make
Yes.
it a racial slur, like get the figgity out of here.
That's okay. We got plenty of them for you.
Need a book and play.
Listen, we still got plenty of other terms for you, Karen. So you are Karen, you are Peter, you are Makehode, you are, there's so many of them for you that they will be able to catch up when we finish.
In the
Goddamn
words of
thing.
too short, bitch. That's what you
Okay.
really are. You know what I'm
That's my
talking about?
favorite word.
Yeah,
Why you gotta say it like
like Jack, feel me? That's what you really are. Mind your business, bitch. Like, no,
okay, that
get
part
out
right
my face.
there.
Like, no, listen.
Come on, or Alicia. That's funny.
Alicia,
Yes, we got plenty of names. We got Becky's. Becky's been going on since the beginning for a minute for me now. So it's like we got so many names for you, Karen. You can keep that one. Keep it,
that
Karen.
part.
Keep it.
We'll
Karen
just
and
change the
Jen.
acronym. You know, it's all right. We'll give you another name. Huh? It's still gonna be you.
Oh, okay. Keisha, you're not gonna let him go because there's only one other black kid. It's just the end of the year party. Yeah, you shouldn't feel safe in a police station. Absolutely
Oh,
not. Billiards, exactly. We got you. Sorry, I
oh
had to go
wow.
that route, but these Karens and Kens not to be fully trusted. You know what kills me when you talk about the Karens and Kens? Not just the things that they say, but some of them are the biggest pervs ever. The ones who, okay, so you remember Menudo? I know y'all remember Menudo, right? I'm
Yeah,
about to bring
group.
up, okay, we got 30 minutes, y'all, and I'm about to bring up something from the past, but it's gonna be so crazy.
What you know
So
about Menudo?
what? Oh, come on! It was one of the things that kept me borderline on the PR side. I was a Menudo fan. They were like, "We can't kick all the way
Hold
out,
up,
not
they
all the
wasn't
way
even
out."
Puerto Ricans though. They wasn't even Puerto Rican. Were they Mexican or some shit?
No, they were Puerto
It was
Rican
Puerto
for
Rican. Oh, I
sure.
didn't
Yes,
realize that.
they
Okay,
were.
well go ahead. I digress.
Yes, Menudo was yes. Chill out. Yeah, all of that. What?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Give
Come
them the
on.
story though.
Okay, so back in the days, I don't know if you ever heard the story about the Menendez brothers, the two brothers who killed their parents, shot them in cold blood in Beverly Hills. They
Yeah.
wanted to go on a trial. The first trial was they didn't not guilty, but they came back as a hung jury, and then
Yeah.
they took them to trial again, and they gave them like 30 years, but they're still in there, like, and that was about 33 years ago. So the father, because their whole defense was that the father was sexually abusing the son, and
Oh,
even up until that point, that was why they did it. They couldn't take the abuse anymore. The first trial was a hung trial because they allowed the family members and people to come in and testify on their behalf, saying that yeah, they had spoken about the abuse, that the abuse had happened, whatever. In the second trial, they omitted all of that. They would not let anybody speak to any of the sexual abuse, which is
that's
really
crazy.
crazy, which is
That's
the
crazy.
reason why they ultimately wound up getting convicted. So here we are, fast forward. One of the members of Menudo just recently came out in a documentary that the father of the Menendez boys, who was one of the founders of Menudo, was actually raping him from the time that he was 13 years old. The father
Wow.
of the man that this guy is right now sitting in jail for, he killed them, which, you know, nobody's condoning anything. I'm just putting the facts into play. These are facts. The two sons sitting in jail for killing the mother and the father. Mother knew that the abuse was going on for years. Father was abusing these boys for years. This guy from Menudo comes in and says basically how the father met him, saw him, basically took him to his mother's house. This is the father. Took him to his mother's house, took the young boy, 13 years old, to his mother's house. The mother came in and was like, leave that boy alone. Like she kind of knew what it was going to be. And then later that night, he raped him over and over. While the whole time that he was on tour, he was being raped by this man. Now, you know, in Menudo, they aged out at 16. So it's
Yeah, they
3 years.
out. Yeah. Yeah.
So for 3 years, this was his
Wow.
reality. And his thing is like, he's not the only one, other people. So it begs the question, right? Because this is what we do. Do these boys now deserve another trial based on this one other guy coming out? And let's be honest, when you're dealing with predators, um, there's usually more than one. There's like, there's a pattern and a history of it. It's
Hmm.
not just one person, right? So now you have two people who are, or three people who are basically saying the same thing. This guy comes from left field, no relation to anybody, doesn't know anything. He's just tired of keeping it all to himself. He's ready to come out and share.
Hmm.
Do these young boys deserve another
With
trial?
that revelation, because I never really followed their case or the trial or whatever, but in a case like that, definitely. One, because
Yeah.
they were precluded from being able to thoroughly defend themselves if information from the first trial was not allowed into the second trial when it came to what was going on behind the scenes. So the jury
Yeah.
did not get a chance to adequately see both sides of the story to make a full determination. Um, if that's what it was, then yeah, they. I hate to say it, but they should have been got up out of there. But especially the father. I don't know about the mother, but if the mother knew what was going on, that's triggering, and they probably like you gone and you need to go too. But I hate to say it like that bluntly and cold, but yeah, they definitely need a retrial, and they've been in jail for a lot of years now. So and
Right,
that's crazy
you can't get your life back. Like they can't get their life back. They went in their
at all.
20s. So 19 and 20, I believe. So they lost their entire life for the most part. Now it's like, wait a minute, you were right all along. And then how do you kind of defend that? I think one of the bigger issues, and again, want to always keep it in a conversation. One of the things that made me bring this up, because as y'all know, I be trolling those TikTok streets, y'all. I do. I'm a TikToker, like I love it. But they came up with this whole new acronym called MAP, Minor Attracted People.
What?
They're basically trying to create a lane for pedophiles. They're trying to create a lane for pedophiles, calling them MAPs, as if to justify that their attraction to kids, that they have that right to feel that way, and that they shouldn't be vilified because they feel the way that they feel.
They should be mapped the
Uh,
hell out,
I mean, let's just talk about it.
man.
Here we are in a society that's creating these lanes where you think it's okay to do things that are not okay. And you don't want to judge somebody. You don't want to say you don't have the right. But you, sir, pedophile or madam, because they come in both, you who are attracted to a child, you think of a child in a sexual way, there's a problem with that. An innocent baby, there's a
Hmm.
problem with that. And the fact that you now
Mhm.
want to create your own lane to make it seem like it's okay is disgusting to me. And it's something that I'm always going to speak out about. And it's something that I will never be okay with.
Look, as you shouldn't, and as I won't. As a father, I know I would. Can't say what I want to say, but it ain't no justice, ain't no freedom, ain't no justifying, ain't no sympathizing,
Yeah.
ain't none of that for none of that for
Yeah.
me. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave that there because I don't want to get the channel in trouble. But
I just
people need
be aware, y'all.
people are sick. People are sick.
Yeah. Be aware, y'all, as you're going through social media. A lot of stuff that we bypass, we'll look at it. Like I flipped through it a few times, not knowing what it was. I'm like, map. Okay, I'm not interested. Um, and then I saw that, and I was just like, we live in this world today where it's just like everybody wants to be okay with everything that's going on. We all have a voice, and we all have an opinion, and we all have a right. Agreed. That doesn't make it all right.
That part
A
we
man
gotta
who
get
puts his
back. I guess
what
we
I mean, how do we do that? Because even talking about it in some people's mind feel like they are, that we are. Honestly, I'm at a point right now with TikTok. I'll be honest with you, they can get rid of the whole platform. While there is some good funny stuff on TikTok, there's good educational stuff on TikTok. There's good. They can completely get rid of that whole platform. The fact that they have allowed people with just anybody to have a voice and want to continue to debate things that to me just you have nowhere to go with it. Pedophiles, you have nowhere to go with it. People who are confused about what you want to be, so now you think you can have a baby. I have no room for just you making things up in your head that just don't make sense, or the channel that doesn't know how to make it make sense because it doesn't.
We
And
got Adrian
we
in the background
have to be
ready to
more
come up.
mindful of that. Huh?
I said we got Adrian in the background wants to come up and give her
Come
words or
on
two.
in, Abu.
Hey,
Hey,
Adrian.
Good
hey, good
morning.
morning. I
Good
don't know if
morning.
y'all
Good
can see,
morning.
it's kind of dark in my living room. I'm so sorry. Hi, y'all.
All right, how
Hey,
you doing?
baby.
All right, listen. I'm going to say this about what y'all were just speaking on about this map. The fact that it's being allowed, one, if the government is allowing it, that says a whole lot right there.
A lot.
Because that's who should be shutting that down from the very beginning. You
Well,
Yeah.
understand? So that means
hold
that
on,
that
hold
right
on.
there, they're full of pedophiles in that building, in that office, in those seats. Because right there, they should be setting all kind of laws, regulations, whatever they have to do to shut that down, to not even let that even happen. You understand? To hear about
Well,
that and say, well, sorry, B, I'm just it's like to hear to for you to even to hear and say that that's something that's even considered. How did
mhm,
it come about? So I'm quite sure they know of it.
they do. They absolutely do. For the government, although again, this is to me bigger than the government. They are fully. This is one of the reasons they want to cancel TikTok altogether.
Hmm.
If it was up to them, they want to get rid of TikTok altogether. TikTok is a freaking brain poison.
Yeah,
And when you think about again, the creator of TikTok in their country, which I believe is Singapore, um, in their country, TikTok doesn't have any of the crap that we have. There's none of these crate challenges. There's none of these map voices. All they put on there is educational stuff for the kids and informative information for the adults. It has none of the bullshiggery, to quote Phil, that it does that we have today. So that's number one. Number
hmm,
two is it's too much information on any of these social media highways for any of it to be caught in a timely manner. When you think about it, unless you're paying attention, like I said, I skipped through that for a couple of times, and then finally I saw one and I'm like, what is this about?
right.
And I see that it says there's a whole what is a map, a minor attracted person, and there were actually people trying to justify it, and I'm like, I'm disgusted.
Yeah,
The
that's
fact
truly
that
disgusting.
so they can't keep it, they can't keep up with the amount of trash that's being thrown on these social media sites. And I just, what we're not looking at, as like me, I have grandchildren, but I don't have kids in the game anymore, so I'm not always in tune to what's going on with today's trends with these kids, with, you know what I'm saying,
Well, I'll
until
tell you,
we're reading the news on it.
right, but I'm gonna tell you like this: they created it, they asked for it, they put that damn satellite up in the sky.
Yeah. I
Because
think
guess
they're just
what?
trying to put stuff out there to make it seem like it's normal. Like they're trying to normalize bad behavior. Okay, so there are people who are attracted to young folks. Okay, that's just who we are. Okay, I identify as a man, so now I'm going to be walking into the men's room now. You know what I'm saying? And you can't say anything about it. Why? Because I identify as this, and vice versa. They're trying to normalize things that really are
Are
not
not
normal.
normal. Right. And don't get me wrong, I have family members who are of the LBGTQ community, but and I have friends who are, and when I have conversations with them
I
about
know.
that, they even think a lot of this ish goes too far.
Right.
They feel like this stuff, they're like, these people are out of their mind. This is too far. They like, this is too much. I don't know what these people think they're doing. It's too far and it's too much. There's no way that these people should be using the same bathroom as a child, as other as women. You know the unisex bath. They don't believe in those unisex bathroom situations.
Hmm.
They don't believe in it at all, because they're like, for one, there are people who can pretend to go in and think that they're uh that they're transgender, and they're really using it as a guise to go in and do other things, rape women or children, or
Right.
whatever. So they don't agree with all of that crap that goes on. And it's like, come on, it needs to stop. And I'm sorry, I hear the y'all want the inclusivity, but the line has to be drawn somewhere
Right.
for the safety of people. Period.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, even children, but just for people overall.
yeah,
Period.
yeah, for sure. I brought it up as kind of like an awareness thing. Like I said, I have grandchildren, but I know people who have younger children. These are conversations that, again, as you scrolling through TikTok, nobody's really paying attention to, but maybe we should pay attention to it, because then it normalizes to people who don't understand, or makes it seem like it's okay. So, um, okay. I'm landing the plane. On that note, thank you so much, A. We
Phil
appreciate you
got to
coming
run.
through. Love you.
Yeah, I just had to get on here about that, man, because number one, that's something that's kind of near and dear to my heart because of a personal situation. That map, they need to stop. The government needs to really step in and shut that shit down. Excuse.
Well, I think they just
ASAP
opened
like
up a
rocket.
new lane. That's all. And
Appreciate you for
if
tapping in, Adrian. Love is
yeah,
love.
Yes.
exactly. Thank
All
you, Mama. That's funny. We ain't never kicking you out, Keisha. You crazy. Yeah, that's what a map is. A map is a minor attracted person, people who are attracted to younger kids. And, we got to stay aware. So,
The maps should be DAPS, death
right.
attracted people too.
Because, listen, one more word to be aware of. That's all I'm going to say. But
That's crazy.
what y'all got going on this week? What you got going on these internet streets this week, co-host?
Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, right here with you on the Good
That's right.
Morning Gang Morning Show. Listen,
Yay.
where it's always interesting, where it's always a good conversation, where it's always a good laugh to have, where there's always some good information to find out about, and some other bullshittery and ish to find out and partake in. Um,
Yes.
Friday evenings, 8 to 10 in the morning for that. Excuse me, Eastern Standard Time, 8 to 10 Eastern Standard Time in the evening. Feel the love with my other beautiful co-host, Evolution Brooklyn. And
Yes.
excuse me, other days and in other ways, tapping in on these internet streets, IG, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, possibly, around like Ty as I am. I'm everywhere but
Yes.
nowhere. But see me, you'll see me. What about you, be love?
Y'all know me. You can catch me here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. with my co-host. We talk about all types of stuff, guys. We talk about what y'all want to talk about. We talk about what we want to talk about. It's always in love. It's always about just having the conversation. And, it's Monday. So I hope everybody's feeling motivated. We got a whole week of work we have to get through, most of us. Try to stay up. I know it's not easy, and I know there's a lot going on,
A
but at
lot, a
the end of
lot.
the day, we got to keep doing what we're doing, and don't stay filtered, stay unfiltered. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share. We love it.
That part. Hit the notification bells,
Find us.
bing, so you can know when we're going live. And also, Welcome to those that have been
Oh,
tapping in from the Facebook side. You'll be seeing us more
yes.
often, Monday,
Yes.
Wednesdays, and Fridays, etc., etc. Welcome along. I don't know why I haven't had y'all included all this time, but guess what? Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you forget about or choose not to come on over through youtube.com/Big Phil Speaks, you can also come in on facebook.com/Big Phil Speaks and tap in and see what's going on. That part there. Listen,
Yes.
co-host, that's all you got going on? You ain't got no shows, no lives, no nothing?
Nope. I'll let y'all know as it comes up. But right now, I'm
Hey,
going to be right here this morning. Maps. Minor attracted person. Maps are minor attracted persons, people who are attracted to minors or children of underage or with no consent.
and wherever you see them at, you operate in DAPS
Exactly.
to them. But
Yes.
okay, anywho, above that be bullshittery and beyond. Whoo,
Right.
smile, because you
Yes.
never know what it might do for somebody, including yourself. You feel me? More
Yes.
importantly, more
Yes, we
importantly,
do.
show some empathy and sympathy today, some philanthropy, some good
Yes.
humane character. Love on somebody on purpose,
On
with
purpose.
purpose. That
Yes.
part. Until the next time we can chop it up and have a tay to tay. Me and B full of Harris. We say what? So, I'm playing. Me and my co-host. I'm gonna say Pamela. Me and my co-host B Love. Holla. Damn
Hi,
it.
guys.